Charles and Curtis is 90 years old. It's a 90-year-old wooden vessel. It's nearing the end of its useful life, and it's time to reinvest in something that will take us into the future. At the end of dry dock in April of 2021, we made the decision that the boat was structurally sound, was in good condition, but we could look forward to the next 3 to 5 years where it would deteriorate to the point that we just couldn't afford to maintain it. You just have to rebuild the entire vessel if you were to maintain it. And I don't think there's any inclination to take the decks off and put new frames and flooring in and do that kind of work that's necessary to maintain that. There are wooden vessels in Puget Sound that have done that too, but you're now talking about millions of dollars. And when you're done, you still have a 90-year-old boat. So it's a tragedy, but you have to step forward and move into the future. We have identified a vessel which is absolutely 95% of what we expected and would like to, if we were to build a boat. 95% of it there. It brings us modern engines, modern instruments, actually have classrooms on board, ongoing classrooms on board, met our specs within 95% of the gold. And at a reasonable price, a price we couldn't refuse really. Had we had to build this new boat, we're 2 to 3 years down the road. This now takes us back into working on programs for young people. It changes our direction dramatically. It takes us the ability to go back and continue to build youth or programs to train people with instead of trying to build a boat. We can carry 100 passengers on the new vessel, where we can only carry about 30, 35 passengers on this vessel. So it's almost triple the capacity. From both the board perspective and the Sea Scout perspective, it is time to replace the Charles and Curtis. It's a 90-year-old wooden boat. We're going to replace it with a modern, up-to-date. It's actually got an aluminum hull. A lot of people can work on aluminum hull boats. The technology to working on the old wooden boats is much more difficult today to find. So this is the boat that takes us into the future. It's a modern, up-to-date, real, live training boat.
What we identified was an amazing world-class training vessel at the Sea Star base in Galveston, Texas that was for sale and had been remodeled to be a youth training vessel. Purchasing the vessel, Youth Marine Foundation knew that we would have to do a really robust campaign. This vessel was remodeled in 2015 to the tune of $10 million. Mr. Doolin put his heart, soul, and his own wealth into making sure that youth would have access to world-class training engine rooms, navigation systems. Even the smart TV in the classroom is able to connect to the navigation GPS or to a robotic arm underneath to scope out the seabed. This vessel was created to pursue Mr. Doolin's dream that youth have access to world-class training, leadership, and character development. The best and most exciting thing about the purchase of Bay Smart Express vessel is the increased capacity. Just last week, we signed a contract with Tacoma Public Schools. We now are officially endorsed to be the contractor to provide floating classrooms to every middle school and high school in Tacoma Public School District. A new vessel like Bay Smart Express has capacity to take out over 100 passengers per cruise during the day. When you think about that, teenagers, middle schoolers running around the vessel doing their programs, watching that from the land side, that's exactly what this vessel was meant to be. But in addition to the public schools, we now have the capacity to increase all of our programming. We work with our most robust partner, the Sea Scout base here in Tacoma, and to be able to increase the access that those programs have provided since 1923, over 98 years of putting youth on the water, I'm so excited for that opportunity. This vessel will allow our youth, our middle schoolers, our high schoolers to get actual skills that allow them to either go on to a 4-year degree like at California Maritime or to go straight into industry. Many of our alumni currently work for the Pierce County Ferry Systems. But now with a new vessel, with the technology that mimics industry, they can walk directly from our programs into industry and understand what it's like to be on the water, what it's like to work these systems and become immediately employable. Our robust campaign for $2.2 million covers not only the purchase of the vessel, but the support and wraparound to make sure that investment is here for years to come. When we look at 3 years of operating, we're going to be growing the staff of YMF and providing so many more programs we've been able to do in the past. The result of that will be hundreds and thousands of youth having access to the water. We will have to hire a captain for the vessel to not only maintain but also repair and make sure that asset's taken care of. A program director to reach into all corners of Pierce County so that we can support places we've never been. And also some small repairs to dockside space right here on our campus, and the ability to transition the vessel from a warm water vessel into a cold water vessel for the waters of the Salish Sea. Some of those costs are included in our robust campaign, but they will give us 3 years of successful operation so we can build revenue so the programs are sustainable for years to come.